A very good evening and welcome to Hope TV News Watch tonight, the 28th of August 2020. Thank you so much for joining us on this live broadcast. My name is Tonny Omondi and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Now, Kenya Medical Supplies Agency KEMSA Board Chairman Kembe Gitura and suspended Chief Executive Officer Jonah Manjari have appeared before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on COVID-19 to shed more light on the alleged unlawful procurement that has elicited mixed reactions from Kenyans. Gitura and Manjari have defended Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache over an alleged letter directing the agency to procure COVID-19 items from specific firms. Dickens Luvanda has this report.
A heated grilling was on Friday witnessed before Parliament chambers involving Kenya Medical Supplies Agency KEMSA bosses, members of the Joint Senate Ad Hoc Committee on COVID-19 and the Senate Health Committee in a bid to shed more light on the alleged corruption at KEMSA.
I'll be happy if you can ask now so they can answer together, please.
KEMSA Chairman former Murang'a Senator Kembe Gitura and Jonah Manjari, who has been suspended from the agency where he has been serving as the CEO, appeared before the Joint Senate Committees just a day after Gitura appeared before the National Assembly Health Committee over the same matter.
Is it really legal for any investigation going on in KEMSA for all the officers to be suspended?
The two were put to task to explain how procurement of medical supplies were done, putting Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache on the spot.
Was this company part of your pre-qualified companies, or was it one of those companies that were to be given without any pre-qualification?
If you give us timelines, we shall give you those documents, because like I said, today I came for a meeting, which, if you allow me to say, had a general agenda. You did not tell me what it is that you expected me to say. So I can hear about COVID-19 billionaires, I can hear about the racking system, and so many other things for which we are not prepared to come before you.
Despite appearing before the National Assembly Health Committee on Thursday, where they said that PS Mochache ordered KEMSA to exclusively procure COVID-19 related supplies from specific companies and at a set prices, Gitura and Manjari on Friday defended the PS, shelving her from the scams.
I said earlier there was
which PS, and be specific, which PS?
Susan Mochache.
Yes.
There were requests from the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable...
Written or by phone call?
Either phone calls, most of them SMSs and phone calls.
Yes.
We did have from the National Emergency Response...
Which CS? It's good you give us names for the record.
We've said Honorable Mutai Kagwe.
Yes.
And we also got the emergency response team that was handling COVID.
On several occasions, Gitura engaged the committee in bitter exchanges after being pressed to explain why he reportedly wrote a letter instructing the CEO to sign 1 billion shillings for the construction of a warehouse, despite the matter being under active investigations by the anti-graft agency EACC.
There are not double standards here. It's only that you have chosen not to listen and to follow what I'm saying about this issue. Because you want to push a narrative. You want to push a narrative.
No, let's not go that direction.
Chair.
We're just asking.
Mr. Chairman, you must also protect me.
The KEMSA board chairman also came under fierce criticism from Senator Fred Outa of Kisumu and nominated Senator Beatrice Kwamboka over interdiction of the authority's legal director, with a visibly emotional Gitura raising his voice, demanding for what will be called sobriety from the senators.
Was he given time to defend himself? Was there any investigation team formed? These things looks fishy. Looks like you are hiding some things. And even if you are interdicting somebody, be human. Why were the rest suspended? And after putting an acting CEO, did you replace that position that he used to hold? What's the logic behind?
It's a new person.
It's barely 8 months.
I don't know whether the rules of Senate have changed. But I've sat where you are sitting.
Here to lecture us. You have been
I'm not
here
lecturing
before.
you.
And this is not your time.
How do I answer a question unless you give me a chance to
had a
answer
time to be a senator before. This is our time. And we are telling you are wrong. You know, you have made billionaires in this Republic of Kenya. And that's why we want you to give us those lists so that the Kenya could know who are these billionaires under your watch.
Jonah Manjare, who currently stands suspended so as to allow for investigations into the alleged theft of COVID-19 cash, refuted claims that Mochache directed KEMSA to procure medical items from specific firms, adding that her letter was generated by KEMSA itself when it wrote to the PS requesting for funds to pay the companies for their supplies. Deacon Sylvander, Hope TV Newswatch.
Moving on, the country has recorded 241 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours, bringing the country's total number of infections to 33,630. LCS Dr. Rashid Aman said 4,520 samples were tested over the last 24 hours, even as 66 more patients were discharged. For the first time in 5 months, the country has recorded 0 deaths from COVID-19 in 24 hours. Petroba Ojwang has the details.
Kenya's coronavirus death toll as of Friday, August 28th, remained at 567 after none of the coronavirus patients succumbed to the virus in the last 24 hours. Health Ministry Chief Administrative Secretary CAS Rashid Aman, during the daily COVID-19 briefings at Afya House in Nairobi, reported that the country had recorded 241 more cases of the virus in the last 24 hours, raising the total count to 33,630. 66 more patients have so far recovered in the last 24 hours, 40 of them being of the home-based care program and 26 from various hospitals, raising the total number of the COVID-19 recoveries to 19,434. All these, Dr. Aman says, are from 4,520 samples, raising the total number of tested persons as of August 28th to 442,713.
From these 241 cases, 228 are Kenyans, while 47 are foreigners. 152 are male, 89 are female. The youngest is 1 year old, the oldest is 86 years old.
Nairobi recorded 113 cases, Mombasa 14, Taita Taveta and Kiambu County recording 10 each, Kirinyaga and Narok counties recording 9 each. Kajiado had 8 cases, while Laikipia and Nakuru confirmed 7 cases each. Uasin Gishu County and Turkana County each recorded 6 cases. Busia and Lamu counties have 5 new cases each, while Trans Nzoia, Kilifi, Kericho and Kakamega recorded 4 cases each. Kisumu has 3 coronavirus infection cases recorded. Nyeri, Machakos, Makueni and Bomet confirmed 2 cases each. Kitui, Bungoma, Embu, Nyandarua and Nandi counties recorded 1 case each. Meanwhile, Health Chief Administrative Secretary Dr. Rashid Aman has called on Kenyans to be keen on their nutrition as it's a key factor in the fight against COVID-19.
Good nutrition is necessary in the care of people infected with COVID-19 as it contributes to enhanced immunity and generally better health outcomes. The Ministry of Health has developed several guidance documents for continuity of essential health services. Among this is the interim guidance for continuity of nutrition service delivery that provides key recommendations to health service providers during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Petroba Ojwang, Hope TV Newswatch.
6 Malindi constituency CDF officers who have been accused alongside Malindi MP Asha Jumwa were today arraigned before the Mombasa law courts of a misappropriation of over 57.7 million shillings from the Constituency Development Fund. These suspects appeared before the Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti, even as investigators called for the arrest of Malindi MP Asha Jumwa over the same. Mark Kimondo has this report.
Niliwatuma mimi wakatoe mikono. Nauliza niliwatuma.
Just a day after DPP Nurdin Haji gave approval for the arrest and prosecution of Malindi Member of Parliament Aisha Jumwa over misappropriation of over 57.7 million shillings from the Constituency Development Fund kitty, the MP has been ordered to surrender to authorities. The office of the DPP, through Alois Kemo, said the prosecution was unable to trace Jumwa after all her phone numbers appeared to be offline despite her being a public figure.
It's mischievous to come to court today and allege that they only had notice at 7:30. there cannot be a better demonstration of mischief than that you are.
Jumua's lawyers had earlier on argued that Aisha Jumwa was not anywhere in the coastal region and that she couldn't manage to appear in the Mombasa court this morning due to curfew restrictions that inconvenienced her journey. The lawyers said Aisha was ordered to appear in court on a short notice compared to other cases, including that haunting Migori Governor Kodho Bado, was given enough time before being confined and arraigned in court.
We learned as her counsels yesterday through the social media that the DPP has approved her to be charged. That was around 7:30 p.m. We made an effort, and 4 councils are before you. To explain those circumstances.
6 co-accused persons in Jumua's case, who include Wachu Abdallah, Kennedy Onyango, Bernard Kai, Sophia Charo, Margaret Kalume and Robert Wanje, were arraigned before Mombasa Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti, where they were charged with 13 offences, including forgery, fraud in procurement and money laundering.
Constituency jointly engaged in a transaction to conceal and...
However, the 6 denied all the charges and were released on 10 million shillings bond with similar amount of surety or 5 million cash bail each. Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti ordered Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa, who was absent during the court proceedings, to surrender to Port Police Station before Monday, August 31st. A statement issued by Director of Public Prosecutor Nudin Haji clears, and I quote, "The case, which was fully investigated, was in regard to the payment of 19 million shillings paid to Multiserve Contractors Limited, in which Robert Katane Wanje is the director. The procurement process, spearheaded by the fund account manager and the tender committee, was awfully flawed and marred, with irregularities skewed in favor of Multiserve Contractors Limited, the company earmarked to undertake the project." According to the statement, Multiserve Contractors Limited received an amount of 19 million shillings, out of which 2.5 million shillings was illegally transferred to Jumwa Karisa Katana whilst being a member of parliament for Malindi constituency. The statement also clears that evidence showed that Aisha Jumwa Karisa Katana concealed the said sums, being proceeds of crime, through depositing an installment towards the purchase of an apartment situated along Agwings Road in Nairobi. Mike Muya, the head of the Financial Crime Investigation Unit, had earlier on said that his team had been investigating the alleged flawed procurement for the construction of the Malindi Education Office that cost the NGCDF 20 million shillings. According to him, most of the money that were allegedly stolen were wired back into the legislators' personal accounts and those of close relatives. Aisha Jumwa is expected to show up in the Mombasa court on Monday, where she'll be answering questions before the Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti with regards to the fraud. Mark Kimundo, Newswatch.
Kwa hivyo mimi nataka niwaambie tuheshimiane.
A report released by the Kenya Christian Professional Forum KCPF indicates that 37% of Kenyans support calls for reforms in the constitution, especially on matters touching on devolution, revenue sharing and a review of the powers of the president. At the same time, only 42% oppose calls for review of the constitution. In light of this, a majority of Kenyans at 85% have also opposed abortion as discussions on the reproductive health bill continue. Our reporter Grace Wangui has the full report.
Religious groups, civil societies and a section of politicians have pushed for the amendment of the constitution, although each with their own reasons. To shed light into the matter of constitutional amendments, the Kenya Christian Professional Forum conducted a survey across the country on perceptions of public support for the Constitution of Kenya, abortion, homosexuality and parenting. The survey, which was done across Kenya's former provinces, reveals interesting details on the priorities that Kenyans have in regard to the constitution. It reveals that 42% of Kenyans oppose the call for reforms, while 37% support amendment, while a further 22% have no opinion. These percentages are almost similar for opinion on the same issue in both rural and urban areas. The issue of whether to reform or not to reform the constitution has been politicized over the years. Even as this is true, the statistics conducted by Ipsos show support by region. Nyanza supports at 53%, Nairobi follows at 41%, Western with 38%, Eastern supporting at 36%, Central supporting at 34%, Coast supporting at 33%, and Rift Valley at 32%. The regions have majorly called for reforms of a division of revenue at 37%, followed by a need for change in government structure at 30%, while 11% want review of the powers of the president.
Charles Kanjama.
This indicates that priorities of Kenyans revolve around needs that will improve their lives and lessen the burden of the taxpayer. At the same time, even as contention continues to rise regarding the reproductive health bill that was presented to the public for participation after 2 sittings in the Senate, the report has also revealed details on Kenyans' position on abortion. The survey reveals that 85% of Kenyans think abortion should not be permitted. With the various sectors opposing the vice, they gave the reasons as murder at 47%, ungodly at 46%, immoral at 33%, and endangering the life of the mother at 21%. For increased teenage pregnancies, Grace Angoi, Hope TV News Watch.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has said chiefs and their assistants will be the frontliners in the next phase of flattening the COVID-19 curve and curbing gender-based violence in the country during this pandemic period. Matiang'i said the administration is working closely with the Ministry of Health to disburse information to the grassroots in ensuring the set guidelines to curb COVID-19 are adhered to. Speaking after a security meeting at Dedan Kimathi University in Nyeri County and opening of 2 new police stations in Kieni constituency, Matiang'i said that it's good the levels of violence against women and children is declining and the administration will not relent to bring to book those behind the vices.
Corona is very, very far from done. And even if actually we were to flatten the curve tomorrow, we have a hell lot of work that we need to do, especially putting our communities together, re-engineering social relationships, and working better to ensure that we keep our populations not just safe, but we avoid some of the experiences that we have had in the course of the COVID pandemic. So engaging with these groups is the first point of dealing with what we are dealing. And then we will do this across the country as we go along. CS Kawe has made a very passionate address to these people and told them how their contact with the population is very important for the next phase of the war that we are dealing with. And we'll take this message either ourselves directly or some of our officials, the PSS, the directors in our ministries, so that we continue to build these grassroots capacities. What we're interested in is building the grassroots capacities.
As this disease begins to manifest itself away from the main focus areas, such as Nairobi and Mombasa and other towns, we see a growth in rural areas, in the smaller, in the counties that are more rural-oriented. And we know that when that happens, the frontline soldiers will include the sub-chiefs and chiefs and those in administration.
All right, let's now take a short commercial break on News Watch. We'll be back shortly. Don't go too far.
Some people say they know about our hustle, but believe me, this is no regular job. You know about that early start? Not that one. The start before that early start. You sat for an exam? Add a cat to the mix, due tomorrow. Plus a part-time job for those student loans. Now we're talking about a hustle. Don't forget about that side hustle that you hope will one day be your main hustle. So, to stay focused through it all, we need the perfect cup to fuel winning in life. Try Nescafe 3-in-1.
Is anyone immune to this virus?
We haven't seen the virus in the world before, which means none of us had been exposed to it.
Women tend to have more UTIs than men.
By the time a man is getting a urinary tract symptom, there is a problem.
With live doctors in studio, you get increased information on how to improve and better your health.
Gladys Nyanchoka is asking what causes nose blockage early in the morning.
Prevention, early intervention, treatment and management of different medical conditions.
Noise in the ear is very, very common. It's known as tinnitus.
There is a condition that we call fibromyalgia.
Thank you for calling in today. What's your question?
I've been having a problem with my toe.
Yeah.
Tune in for Health Check every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome to Rafiki Gardens along Kangondo Road by Optiven. This is an ideal and affordable piece of investment that is strategically placed within the Nairobi metropolis. Rafiki Gardens is close to key social amenities like schools, banks, and shopping malls. This project comes with ready title deeds, Maram roads, and a marking fence round the property. Get a plot at only 695,000 Kenya shillings cash price. You can also pay a 50% deposit and pay the rest in 6 months installments. Call us today on 0702 8310 83 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching Hope TV News Watch. A day after he issued a statement saying his life is in danger, Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala has recorded a statement at the Kakamega Central Police Station emphasizing that indeed some elements in the government want him killed. Malala, who has been in the eye of the storm in the recent past over the revenue sharing formula, has written to the Inspector General of Police, Hilary Muchambai, and the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, seeking explanations and protection. In the letter, Malala claims that a secret and specialized squad unit codenamed Bravo Zulu Yankee has been formed to trail and possibly harm him, with the senator naming 5 officers and the vehicle they are using to trail him.
I am aware that a secret and specialized squad of the special service unit, has been recently formed with express instructions to keep an eye or eliminate Senator Cleophas Wahungu Malala. We are reliably informed that the 5 members of this crack squad of assassin policemen tasked to eliminate me are well-known police officers attached to the special unit, SSU. I have forwarded the 5 names of the squad of assassin policemen to the Inspector General and the Director of Criminal Investigation for their immediate action. I have also been reliably informed that the renegade squad of police assassins constituted from the Special Service Unit has already held several meetings at the DCI headquarters executive lounge, that the squad of police assassins formed and dispatched to assassinate me has held more briefing meetings at Eaton Hotel in Thika Town. This squad of police assassins was briefed at Eaton Hotel by a chief inspector working for the homicide department at DCI headquarters in Nairobi by the name Inspector Wanzala.
And the Council of Governors chairperson Wycliffe Oparanya now wants governors who are facing corruption charges be allowed to access their offices as the trial continues. Oparanya said the decision to bar governors from accessing their offices denies the governors an opportunity to serve the electorate. Oparanya called upon the courts to depart from the jurisprudence set in the recent past, whereby governors once charged have been locked out of their offices for an indefinite period as the trial continues. The remarks come following the arrest of Migori Governor Okoth Obado alongside his family members and other co-accused on Wednesday. Oparanya said they hope Obado will be accorded a fair and expeditious trial to ensure uninterrupted service delivery to citizens of Migori. And 3 suspects have been arraigned before Mombasa court and charged with impersonating Kenya Revenue Authority employees in an attempt to defraud a taxpayer 600,000 shillings. The suspects, according to court documents, pretended they could manipulate the KRA system to clear a debt of 1 million shillings owed by the taxpayer to the authority. The accused Daniel Ojwang Achoka, Peter Derrick Masege and Mwema Sami pleaded not guilty before Mombasa Senior Resident Magistrate Martin Robera. They were faced with 3 counts that on 12 March 2020 at Tabarak Enterprises Limited in Likoni Sub-County within Mombasa County, jointly with an intent to defraud Ali Abubakar, falsely represented themselves as KRA officials. They were also charged with uttering a document with intent to deceive. The court has released the accused on a bond of $500,000 and surety of the same amount each. The case will be mentioned on 8th of September 2020. Still on the corridors of justice, the SGR Bribery case against the 3 Chinese nationals Li Zhen, Li Xiaowu and San Xin will go on for full trial after the prosecution withdrew its application to terminate the case against the 3. Li Zhen, Li Xiaowu and San Xin, who are employees of the China Roads and Bridges Corporation (CRBC), were arrested in November 2018 at Mombasa SGR terminus while trying to offer a bribe to Inspector Andrew Warui and his team, who are investigating fraud involving ticket sales. According to court documents, the trio had offered a bribe of 500,000 shillings as an inducement to influence an ongoing criminal investigation in their favor. The prosecution had last week made an application to terminate the case, a move that was opposed by Mombasa Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti. All right, News Watch takes another short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at what is happening in business news.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Some people say they know about our hustle, but believe me, this is no regular job. You know about that early start? Not that one. The start before that early start. You sat for an exam? Add a cat to the mix, due tomorrow. Plus a part-time job for those student loans. Now we're talking about a hustle. Don't forget about that side hustle that you hope will one day be your main hustle. So, to stay focused through it all, we need the perfect cup to fuel winning in life. Try Nescafe 3-in-1.
Welcome back. The Border Safety Association of Kenya has asked players in the subsector to register with the Border Information Management System, BIMS, to enhance security. The association's national chairman, Kevin Mubadi, said the system that was launched recently by Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i and his ICT counterpart Joe Musheru will reduce cases of motorcycle theft in the country. Mubadi was speaking in Malindi on Thursday. It said the country had close to 1.3 million border riders, adding that since the system was launched 2 weeks ago, 30,000 riders had registered. He said the system would make it possible to know how many people are in the border business, their ages and gender, so that the government can lay strategies of serving them better.
Kitu ambacho nataka kuomba wanabodaboda wote Kenya mzima ni kwamba tushirikiane na serikali na tuweze kusupport ile program zote ambazo government inafanya. Hii system yenye tulilaunch hii ni kuhakikisha kwamba inasimamia usalama wetu. Kwa maana hakuna mtu ataweza kuiba pikipiki hapa Malindi ambapo ni Kilifi County aende nayo Busia na aendelee kufanya kazi. Ikifika kule sisi tutaishika immediately na tuweze kurudishia mwenyewe kwa sababu data itakuwa inasema pikipiki ni ya Malindi Kilifi County na iko na wale wa the real owner of that motorbike kwa system.
Ili mahali kwetu kwa kazi kuwe salama na wao pia askari nao pia wawe na kazi rahisi ya kutulinda sisi. Mambo ya wizi wa pikipiki Kilifi County ilikuwa imeshuka sana miaka 2-3 iliyopita, lakini kwa sasa tunaona sasa imeanza kuinuka tena. Na bado tunahitaji ushirikiano wa maaskari na sisi.
Mitumba traders have raised concern that the recalibration and repackaging of consignment will lead to a loss of economies of scale. The retailers of the second-hand clothes are already decrying double costs per bale that has been passed down to them by the importers. The traders have, however, welcomed the announcement by President Uhuru Kenyatta on lifting of the ban on mitumba imports. Our reporter Joe Jesse has the report.
The ban of mitumba clothes has seen the price of the little available bales prices double since the ban on mitumba clothes about 4 months ago. Yet, the increase in the price of bales cannot be passed to the buyers as Kenyans are already suffering from reduced incomes. According to toy market second-hand clothes leader David Ombati, the importers have taken advantage of the situation, cashing in on the shortage with bales that were selling at 20,000 Kenya shillings, now going for 34,000 Kenya shillings.
Hata importers pia wametumiza sababu kulikuwa na manguo kidogo, but hizo nguo walipandisha sana times 2. So unapata kama kuna hii CC, tunaitanga CC newborn, tulikuwa tunanunua na 19-20, lakini ikapandisha kitu kwa sasa hivi wanauza na 39. So na hiyo wanauza 39 sio mizigo zilitoka nje, ni mizigo already zilikuwa kwa stock.
Tangu mwezi wa 4 tumekuwa na shida ya mzigo sana mtumba. Tumekuwa affected sana na historia ya corona. Mzigo hazijakuwa zikiingia. Wenye walikuwa na stock mingi ndio wanatukatia. Tunaenda tunakula kamera, tuchukui beli mzima, unaenda unachagua kenye utapata. Na imekuwa very expensive na unapata pieces kidogo na pesa mingi sana.
Serikali pia hata kama kuna corruption, wao wanafaa wanaingia kwa hizi stores, wanaangalia kulingana hizi vile watu wanatukulia sababu wanauza bei ya juu sana.
The retailers now want the government to set a timeline in the issuance of certificates of conformity from KEBS to mitumba importers, contracted agents in the country of origin before importation to ensure that things return to normal.
The president ya clarify mzuri sababu kama ametoa hizo rules za mtumba, kama hiyo kuchukua certificate waelewane na mambo ya KEBS. Hatujui kama wenye walikuwa na import manguo wao wako willing kuelewana na watu wa KEBS, sababu watu wa KEBS walikuwa na introduce mambo ya nguo mpya, so kuna labda zile vikwazo watawaweka.
According to Ombati, the sector will come back to life in a few months' time as importers will now be required to obtain pre-shipment fumigation certificates in addition to complying with health protocols by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development and KEBS. They will also be required to ensure that fumigation is undertaken before baling in compliance with the established standards.
Watu wenye alichagua wafuatilie mambo ya manguo watachukua muda gani? Hizo certificates zitachukua how long? Sio hilo naambiwa certificate itachukua 2 wiki 2, waambiwe inaenda kuchukua mwezi. Na importers pia maybe hawajaambiwa ile duration watakuwa wanapaki hizo manguo, sikue sanitized, sikuje kwa KEBS ndio wa release. So hapo hatuna uhakika itachukua muda gani.
Tunataka pia kuhakikisha ya kwamba hata tukienda mbele na kujikinga na huu ugonjwa, tunataka sasa kuanza kurudisha biashara zetu.
Following public outcry by mitumba traders over depleting stock and possible closure of the enterprises, President Uhuru Kenyatta announced new measures to ensure that the sector operates in an enabling business environment, safeguarding jobs. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Joe Jesse.
Kenya Airways has reported a 14.3 billion shilling loss in half-year earnings from 8.6 billion shillings last year. The airline's chairman, Michael Joseph, said during the first half of 2020, its operations were severely impacted by the COVID-19 crisis, resulting in depressed half-year results. Joseph noted that KQ's total revenue also reduced by 48% to 30.2 billion shillings from 58.6 billion shillings following a ban on air travel. It recorded a 55.5% reduction in passenger numbers to hit a low of 1.1 million passengers during the period compared to 2.4 million passengers over the same period last year. Subsequently, income from passenger revenues declined by 53% to 20.2 billion shillings as the capacity deployed shrunk. The airline expects its full-year results to be significantly affected by suppressed air travel demand, which it sees remaining at less than 50%. All right, that story brings us to the end of this live broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for watching Hope TV Newswatch. Remember, tonight we are having our online kesha that will be live on Hope TV, and you can't afford to miss it. So it's good to be found in the presence of the Lord, and we'll be there. So do enjoy the rest of your viewing, but in the next few minutes, we'll be live with the kesha. My name is Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Murithi. Have a blessed evening.